Welcome to educator.com. This lesson is about zero and negative exponents. In this lesson, you're going to learn to simplify and evaluate expressions with zero and negative exponents. Negative exponents represent repeated division. Applications are to use negative exponents to write very small numbers. Let's look at our vocabulary, zero and negative exponents. A zero exponent in arithmetic, for example, would be represented by a small zero. And any exponent of a zero equals 1. In algebra terms, a to the 0 power equals 1, when a does not equal 0. For a negative exponent, if I had 3 to the negative second power, that would become 1 over 3 to the second power. It's repeated division. That's why it's under the 1. And that would become 1/9. In algebraic terms, if I had a to the negative second, I would have 1 over a to the second, when a does not equal 0 again. Let's try simplifying some exponents. 2 to the 5th power is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. When working with exponents, it's helpful to cross off the factor as you've used it to keep track of how many times you're multiplying the number. Now let's try looking at this one with the negative exponent, how it differs from the previous. This is going to be 1 over It's going to be 1 over 2 to the 5th, which written out would be 1 over 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And in this case, it would be 1 over 32. This negative exponent tells me the value is going to be 1. However, notice that the 0 exponent is not touching the negative. It's not included with the negative. So this value would be 1, and then with the negative out front. Now let's look at how that differs from this example. The 0 exponent is touching everything inside of the parentheses, as if it's holding it like a package. So in this case, negative 3 to the 0 power is just a positive 1. Let's try looking at fractions with negative exponents. This negative 3 is touching everything inside the parentheses. I like to think about the parentheses as if it's a package, and the negative 3 is telling us to repeat everything. So first off, I need to remember that this is going to be a division. So division means that I'm going to be flipping the fraction upside down and repeating it 3 times. 5 times 5 is 25, times 5 is 125, and 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. Let's try looking at how this one differs. This is 2 over 5 to the 3rd. So the exponent is not touching the 2, but only touching the 5. So I have 5 times 5 times 5. And this is going to give me 2 over 125. So notice the placement of the exponent can make the fraction very different. Also, this was a negative exponent and I had to flip the fraction upside down. This was a positive exponent and did not tell me to flip the fraction. Let's try another example. 15 to the negative second power tells me I need to take the division, which is 1 over 15, and I'm going to be doing that twice. 15 times 15 is 225. You can always check to make sure. 5, 6, 7, hold the place, 5 and 1. 5, 7 plus 5 is 12, 225. 24 to the 0 power. Any exponent of 0 gives us the answer of 1. 1 over 7 to the negative second power. The negative tells me I need to take the inverse, the multiplicative inverse, or the reciprocal, which is 7 over 1, because it's division, and I'm going to be doing it twice. 7 times 7 is 49 over 1, and that can be simplified to 49. Now we're going to try some negative exponents with an order of operations. 3 times 4 to the third minus 5 to the negative second. Remember that in order of operations, it goes parentheses, then exponents, multiplication, division, then addition and subtraction. So I'm going to work with my exponents first. 4 to the third. That is 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times 4. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 and 5, 4, 5, and 6, so 64. So I'm going to have 3 times 64. Bring down my subtraction, and next I'm going to work with this exponent. This tells me it's going to be a division, so 1 over 5. That's what the negative is telling me, to make it 1 over 5. And the second tells me to multiply it twice. So it's going to be 1 over 25. So I've simplified the exponents first. Next, I'm looking at multiplication and subtraction. So of course, order of operations tells me to do the multiplication first. So I have 64 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 18, 19, 192. Minus 1 over 25, lastly. So I'm going to borrow from the whole of 192 and make it 191. And the one that I borrow, I'm going to make it 25 over 25 and subtract the 1 over 25. And so I have 191. 25 minus 1 is 24, and keeping the same denominator, 25. Thank you for watching educator.com.